Hey, hi. Today on your Learn Tech Studio, we're going to be making something fun. I had one of my subscribers ask me to make something out of that little circuit we did the other day, which was that little plasma little thing that we did on the circuit board. You know, you put power to it and it gives off this really hot plasma light we were talking about. Well, I decided to take on that challenge and do just that. And what I came up with was this thing. I was planning on using this. This is a DIY plasma lighter, which, you can use to light stuff. You need to set something on fire or whatever, or you need to ignite something or whatever. The fascinating thing about this is that they use no flame. There's no flame associated with this at all. And it runs off of batteries that run off a battery rechargeable cell like this. I made the housing out of ordinary household parts that you can find around the house. Like handlebar grip. That's all this is. Some PVC. That's really all this really is here. About 3 inches of that. A common single pole switch. You can find on Amazon if you don't have one of those. And some sponge like this. And the way this works is that, well, when you apply energy, of course, like to the coil, which is really all what this switch is doing, it'll give off that, you hear that sound that's going on where it's like a plasma light. If you look down the barrel of this thing, you will see a glow of light, and it actually is windproof. So if it's something blowing it won't blow it out. You can't blow it out with this kind of power. It won't blow out with air. So and does it work? Well, let's see. So with one of these, like I said, you don't need, you can be upside down, you can be right side up, it don't matter how you're aimed at. If you put something in there at the plasma head there, that little ignition cell there, you will get a fire out of there, quite easily. It'll set any tinder on fire for you. And it's reusable because it's rechargeable. You can recharge this. So today I'm going to show you how to actually assemble one of these guys, how to make one of these. And for a fraction of the cost of a commercial one, you can make one yourself and it'd be a lot of fun. But I must warn you, it's not a toy. So, you don't want kids to get a hold of something like this. Because for one, it can shock you. If your fingers was to go in there. Secondly, it can burn up stuff. So you really want to be careful with that. All right, other than that, let's get started. Okay, hi everybody. I'm going to show you today how we're going to put these parts together to make that DIY lighter. That's going to be pretty cool to have. We're going to be using a module like this. It's a high power coil. When powered, puts out about like 15,000 or 20,000 volts of plasma type energy, which is the kind we need for this project. I am also incorporating a momentary switch. This is the kind, it's just a push button type, I already took the time and I soldered on some leads, so we won't have to be putting you through all of that. I cut some bolts down the side. We have some little not really machine bolts, but some standard bolts. They're about 1.5 millimeters long. They came in a like a 2-inch piece like this, and I just chopped off what I needed. And I have three. I have three of them that are 1.5 millimeters long. And the purpose of them were to make that little fire chamber where I'm going to be making inside the barrel of the PVC, which I'm going to show you. And the design is going to be something similar to like this. It's going to look something like this. Then when from above, if you look down, when you're looking down in the chamber, you'll see a design like that. It's going to be, that's what will be where all the sparks will be going on at. So that's what that's about. I'm not using this piece for anything. It was just a demonstration so you can see that. All right, we're going to set that aside. Also, you're going to need a little, some little spark-proof protection so the spark won't go down inside the container where the circuitry is at. And this comes from some sponge with that has that sandpaper-like material on it. And it comes in a square. It'd be square like this. I just cut a piece off, that's a rounded piece that I measured. I just took and traced it and come out with a piece like that and cut it out, just so I can get this protective coating on something there. Because I'm going to be putting that inside the chamber. And then the other thing we're going to need is I bought one of those bicycle handle handle grips, you know, you can get from Walmart, and these come in standard size. You know, they have assorted colors as far as these little rings on the end. They look, kind of make them look kind of pretty. The reason why I got this is because the inner diameter plastic piece is what I needed, because I'm going to be inserting that inside this inner diameter of this PVC, because the it seems to match. So you know, really put them together, they'll go together like that to make the piece. And so I actually had to cut this down to size. I don't need all of this, but I did need a piece long enough for it to fit the battery into it. So when you put the battery into it, you know, it'll house the battery. But you gotta make sure, it's gonna come with an end cap. Like this one don't have an end cap on this one, but it'll come with an end cap, and you're gonna need the end cap to keep the battery from falling out. So use the end cap that's gonna come with your grip, okay? And then, so we'll set that aside. As for the PVC, this is about a 3-inch piece. It was at about 3.5 inches when some scrap PVC I found laying around. And I just made a 3-inch piece. That's all I needed, because it's going to house, it's going to house the circuitry here inside, you know, within there, and the 3 bolts there to make the fire chamber and everything like that. So that's why that's needed. The battery is not going to be in this housing. There's also going to house a switch. It's going to be that little switch we just showed you. It's going to be in here too, to turn it on and off as you need it. And then, essentially that might be, well, you need some wire too, of course, some hookup wire, but I'm going to show you how to use that. I have a 2-inch piece here of bare wire here, so we're going to do that. All right, so we're going to get ready to assemble some of this stuff. Hang on just a second. Okay, we're going to go ahead and try to wire this stuff up. I went ahead and fished these wires through from the coil that I was talking about. So I went ahead and did that. So now we're going to go ahead and try to hook up some of this wire to the bolts. And what I got to do, one of these is going to have to go to 2 bolts, and then one goes to 1 bolt. So I got to figure this out. Thinking I'm going to do something like this. I'm going to apply one wire here. And I'm just going to, I think I'm going to add a little solder on it just to make sure it doesn't come apart. And just a second here. It's going to be one of the wires that's going to be needed to go around the 2 bolts. So I'm going to fix this real quick. I'm just going to put a little solder so the junction don't come loose. Just a little bit there. As soon as it gets nice and hot. I know this ain't the proper way to be soldering, but I need to get this on there just for now. There we go. That looks like a good joint. All right. So, okay, don't burn up. All right, now, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply, I want to try, ooh, it's hot. I'm going to try to work on the other wire first. I'm going to put 1 wire under one of the bolts. These bolts, I remember these bolts will go to the electrodes, right? So we're going to be applying a wire on each electrode. If it stays. I don't know if it's trying to do that or not. And let me just pull it around. I just want it to kind of like loop in there and kind of sit so I can tighten up on it. Let me do that. See if it'll sit long enough for that. Yeah. So that's 1. And then we're going to do the same thing for one of these. Just needed to loop itself around. And let me see here. I'm just going to loop this around the bolt head and try to hold it there while I tighten it. Just tighten it down on it. And then the last one needs to go under the head as well, but just in a different way. See? Yeah, that'll work. Sometimes you have to do it any which way you can do it, as long as it gets up under there, you know. You just want to may have connection. So now, electrically, we got all the terminals on. We got a 1 bolt single, and we got 2 bolts here. Both of them coming from the high power coil. And before you get any further, what I would suggest is testing this. So I'm going to test it right now, just to make sure I'm not wasting my time on anything. So let me just test this out with a battery. Green in this case is going to be negative. And let's see, I hear it all right. Oh, I see it too. I don't know if you can see it that way, so I'm going to cut the light off a little bit, down a little bit. So it's doing pretty good on that. Alright, so we know it's electrically sound. And then, so what we'll do, trying to make sure my camera don't time out on me. It seemed to be on this 5-minute thing. So every 5 minutes seem to be cutting off, so I'm trying to watch out for that. Okay, so now, right away, I'm going to try to put this switch in. This is a single pole switch. Well, it's a momentary, so we're just going to send that inside this hole that I pre-drilled. The diameter of that hole for the switch, it just depends on whatever switch you're using. Having to be the diameter of this, I think it's like a half millimeter or a ½ inch maybe diameter, but that's the diameter I used to drill this hole. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna push that in there some way. See if I can get it to go in there. Push. Yep, it's going, gone. There. Okay, it's in there. So I got the push button inside the hole. So far we got about 50% of this left. Okay, so now I'm going to take one of the switches here. One of the switch wires need to be put to the coil. So, and the other one going to go to the battery. So since this is the positive of the coil, we don't want to mess with that. I'm going to put the one of the switch wires, the red one, I guess, to this green one of the coil, which would be the negative. So we just do that. Just twist this together a little bit. I'm not going to do a whole bunch of super soldering here because it's just a temporary fix. I'm not going to permanentize this. I'm planning on putting a rechargeable circuit in this thing, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and finish the project a little bit for you, just with the basics, you know. So, because if you want a rechargeable part added in, this would be the stage you do it at, and you would use one of these boards. It's you can get these off of Amazon. This is a rechargeable circuit board. You put the battery terminals here and your power pieces here, and when you plug in something like a phone charger there, it'll charge the cell for you. I might show you that in a separate video, how to use these boards. I probably will do that, but not in this video. So okay, let me see how much time I got on my camera. All right. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so now I'm going to just twist this together a little bit so it won't be all over the place. I'm going to put a little tape over the end so it doesn't touch anything. So we're just going to secure this piece, this end here, because I won't need to do anything else with that. So we won't be doing anything else with that. All right, and then I'm going to stuff this down in there, in that barrel there. I'm going to try to get it stuffed in there somewhere. Kind of neat, like, sort of, kind of. There we go. There. So far you can see this circuit is pretty straightforward, right? I mean, it's nothing hard about it. Okay, now this is going to be our negative, and this is going to be our positive. Now we want to make sure the switch is in there right now, and that's what we're going to do now. So I'm going to try a battery, and this time when it activates, it should only activate when I push the button. So let me just do that. Negative, positive. Okay, I don't hear anything. So if I push the button, now I hear it. So there it is. So it's working by the button. So we know that part of the circuit is okay. It's always kind of good to check each step as you go, so you don't have to take everything apart. I'm in the process of adding these wires on the battery. All we're doing is just connecting the power up now. I'm gonna put the last end of the battery onto this, wire onto this battery so you can have connection. And then I'm gonna try to solder it so it'll stay in place, because right now I see it's moving. But before I can do that, I'm going to use something to hold this battery. I'm going to incorporate this little vise thingy here just to hold that battery still while I solder it. So, all right, let's see here. Okay, I'm just going to just get this nailed down pretty good before I solder it. Put a little pasty on there, a little bit of that. All right, and we're going to hopefully solder it right the first time. Get it on there, good. I think that might be a good connection, but just in case, a little more. There we go. Okay. All right, that's it. That's all I'm gonna do with that. So let that cool off. Oh no, it ain't moving. What the world? Hold up, we can't leave like that. All right, I try it again. Okay. I don't know why it chose to move. I put enough solder there, I thought. There we go, that's better. Oh no. And this wire is kind of stiff, so that's why it's giving me a little bit of technical difficulty here, but I think I got it now. Check it out. See, no movement. Good. Perfect. That's good enough. All right. Release this thing. All right. All right. Now, so essentially we got everything together. I just got to put it inside this handle. Now, like I said, I cut this handle where it'll be able to fit the battery and go up into this thing here. So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to just manipulate this in here best I can. I'm not worried about it, just as long as I get the thing downside and I got to scoop that battery down inside the chamber here. Just keep going, 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 and gone. Okay, so this little slot you see here, you see this little square slot right here? I cut this out on purpose out of this because, see, it's got to fit on each side of this switch. It's got to fit down the side of this. It's got to straddle that switch when it go in there, so that's what I'm finna make it do. But I'm just trying to make sure all my wires don't get caught up in nothing. And you just push it together and push, 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 and it is in there. That's it. So there we have it, I believe. All right, so we're going to give it a little test run right quick. I'm not going to take any further chances with this. Let me try something out. Okay, so, yeah, essentially that's it. So it's now portable. I mean, you know, you've seen all the way it was before. Now it's portable. Now let's see if it works. You push the button. I can hear it going. Let me see here. Let me cut some light down a little bit. See? Oh, it's pretty fire in there. Okay. So now I want to see if it'll actually light anything. We're just going to just touch the tender with it and see what we get. Oh, we do get a nice flame out of there. It's pretty cool. And so, yeah, so it don't matter. You know, like I said, once you put it inside, once them things are going in there, the little sparks or whatever things will ignite your tender for you. Provided, I'm leaving that too far. That's another thing. Don't leave it in there too long because you don't want to really burn your PVC in here. So once you get a light, just pull it out. I guess that's the best way to say that, you know, because it don't need all of that time in there, you know. I'm gonna see if there's anything. I'm just gonna make sure this. I have a plastic piece that sandpaper stuff in the bottom of it, so I'm just making sure that's out the way. And one more test for the road. Just see where we're at and make sure everything is good. Yeah, there we go. So a nice fire there is pretty cool. All right. So that's all I wanted to show you on this one. So that's pretty much it. So you can make this thing pretty easily. Like I say, you know, you got a handlebar grip, you got some PVC, you know, got a little switch here and that little circuit module that looks like this, you know, goes inside, you know, get you a battery, throw it in there with it, you know, throw it together, and wow, there you go. You got your own DIY plasma lighter. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I had making it. And everybody, have a good night. Bye.